Hi, guys. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, here on this powerful, beautiful night. We are here to help you on your soul healing and your soul clearing, making room for whatever you would like to bring into your life, but also helping you heal anything that's been, stopping you or restraining you from being who you want to be in your fullest or how you want to be in your fullest. We usually have the ability to get in our own way, and this is a way to help us out. And many of you guys are healers of your own, and this is a way for us to do our own self-care, for us to get the healing that we need so we can help others, because we're no good to anyone else if we haven't filled our own cup and filled our own well. So tonight, as part of all of the soul connections that we do, we are going to do a healing meditation first, and then we'll pull some amazing divine messages and hear what channeled pieces come through about them. And on top of that, guys, you know that as part of getting the healing out there on a planetary level, we can't do it alone. We have to be a community, a tribe. So if you could help by sharing this or liking it, posting it on your page or sending it to someone you know who could use a little extra boost, that would be really amazing because it helps us get the word out organically. And, we use those Facebook algorithms to our advantage to try to reach more people. And here at Star Nations, it's a wonderful way for us to build our sacred community as well. Because when we share with others and then they feel like they're not alone and they have some kindred spirits that they can connect with, then we all benefit, which I'm really excited about. So today, Neshi and I were just talking about the fact that today is 12/12, and that is often called the gateway. And I don't know if you guys remember, last week I pulled the gateway card. I actually pulled it for a couple different people in the last few weeks. And the gateway is a doorway, an opening, an expansion, allowing you to step into a fuller sense of your energy body, your sense of self. And some people call this an energetic evolution. Some people call it ascension. But however you perceive the energy shifting, there's this period of time where we have sort of like a highway that we can go on. We can go on the fast track right now between now and winter solstice. And in that space, we can use this to create change at a really rapid pace, which is very exciting. So tonight's healing may be extra powerful. So I encourage people to be really grounded before we start. And I'll probably do some extra things at the very end of the meditation to help you come back, because when we're accessing such rapid energy flow, it sometimes can feel, like Niagara Falls if you're not used to it. And I know I've been prepping for it for weeks now, because of the shifting that I have been doing with my students, the shifting I've been doing with you guys, encouraging you on so many different levels to, clear your trauma, clear those things that are restricting you from being yourself. At my school, Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing, we talk about releasing the beliefs, ideas, and patterns that restrict you from being your full self, your authentic self. And lots of times those are memories and events or things that people said and we believed. And they were meant to keep us safe when we were younger. But now that we're adults, it no longer functions well for us, and it's time to release and let them go. And that is a big part of how I teach my healers to open their channel to be able to hold more energy and more flow and make room for their energy system to stretch and grow the way it's trying to. And I know a number of you have been having growing pains, or ascension flu, some people call it. But for me, I see it as an energetic growing pains. Do you remember being a teenager and how you would have those growth spurts and your knees and your hips would hurt and you were super tired and couldn't get enough sleep, and how your body and it was almost like you weren't talking, because you felt really out of your own element. I had this period where I grew 6 inches in 6 months. And so my knees had such a hard time. My tendons didn't keep up really well right away. And so my poor knees used to have so much strain and stress, and I had to wear knee braces for a little while because I needed to have support as I was going through this expansion. And believe it or not, your energy body is exactly the same way. We need to have a little support. That's kind of why I'm here every Wednesday for you guys, is so that you can do the clearing and give yourself a little boost to be able to help yourself through this transition. So I hope that all makes sense. So tonight, as we always do, we're going to do the meditation first, and then I'll pull cards with divine messages. And tonight's deck it got called probably about an hour and a half ago and said, put the other cards aside. You're using me for the next 2 weeks. And I always listen. So we are going to be using the Magdalene Oracle. And, the Mary Magdalene cards often want to come out in the high holidays around Christianity. And I love this one. It's also by Tony Salerno, but it's also called An Ocean of Eternal Love. And, water element is huge for our emotional body. So the ocean, and connecting the emotions to our love energy. And that's how we can release some of these restricting fear-based beliefs or patterns and switch them into the light and switch them into the love. So exciting. I'm excited. So let's get started. And I want to say a quick shout out to Neshi for being my co-pilot today. She's the one who's sending all of the, she's giving me all the details of who needs a card when, so that I don't have to use my thinking brain. I can just be in my channel brain, which makes my life a lot easier to stay in the flow while we're doing this. Yeah. So I guess we're beginning. Let the noises begin. So for those of you who it's your first time, I'm going to make some clearing noises that lets you know that I am moving the energy for the entire group. So don't worry about it bothering me or hurting me. There are a couple people who had messaged me, they didn't want to cause me pain. It doesn't cause me any pain. What would cause me pain is if I tried to stay silent. Then I'd be holding on to the energy and then trying to release it after, which is what I did when I was a beginning healer. And it was horrible for my energy body and my physical body because it would hurt. And my team just showed me how to release it easily and quickly. So we're going to begin by calling in the divine however you perceive that. And whether you connect to God or goddess or creator or all that is, just take a moment to be silent and just connect with the divine in your perception, in your experience. Yeah. And we all experience and interpret the divine in our own unique way, which is absolutely perfect because there is no one way. It is all the ways.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light, giving us a sacred space to do our work and our healing and our clearing. And also a sacred container where we can gently receive any messages or information that may come through for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then invite in your spiritual team, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, the star beings, the animal totems, all divine, of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment now.
Right.
And we set the intention that this healing meditation is for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to begin by calling in the divine energy at our crown to simply allow us to have a moment of connection, to feel, to experience, to know that the divine is here to work with us as co-creators of our own healing and our own spiritual journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we begin to invite the energy into the top of our head, near our third eye, and just gently allow all of our distractions, all of the ways our energy is pulled into the past, worrying about what was, or pulled into the future, worrying about what will be or could be, and just bring our attention back into this moment, into this breath, into this now.
Got it. Got it. Good night. Yes.
We also invite the energy to calm or clear any ideas, beliefs, or patterns that no longer work for us. Any that have us frozen from moving forward in our life in any way.
Yeah. Good night.
And asking that our perception open and expand so that all of our senses are working together in each and every dimension available to us.
Good night. Good. Good night. Yeah.
And we also ask to open all pathways of communication with our spiritual team and with the divine and with others, so that we may hear clearly and be heard clearly when we speak our needs, our wants, our desires,
Yeah.
and when we ask for guidance and assistance.
God.
And opening our ears so that we can hear fully. Not only what is being said and being spoken, but also the vibration attached, the body language, the unspoken energy behind what is said. so that we understand the fullness of the communication with others and with our spiritual team.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
And really releasing the energy in our jaw. Any ways we try to push our way through our lives, resisting our divine nature.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
And all the ways we try to make things happen rather than allowing them to unfold in divine timing.
Got it. Yeah.
And opening our throat and our neck, making room for our authentic truth to be spoken, our authentic self to be expressed in all the beautiful ways that it is meant to be.
Got it.
Releasing any vibration of fear or anger that may still be lingering in our throat from words unsaid or words that were said in anger toward us or from us.
Yeah.
And sending love and compassion to that energy, rather than adding it to guilt or shame.
Uh-huh.
And finding all the nooks and crannies of stress that are located in the back of our neck and on our shoulders and the upper part of our back, kind of like a yoke of burden, responsibility, and stress. And just gently imagine it being opened up and taken off of you, even just for this brief moment, giving you room to breathe, room to feel unburdened.
Got it. Got it.
And then moving down into the heart and the lungs and really making room for the divine oxygen to flow through you. Releasing any old air that you've held onto, or any ways that you've squeezed your lungs and only used a little bit to breathe. Releasing any anxiety that is squeezing them tighter, smaller.
Got it.
Giving you space to breathe life fully. And allowing that divine oxygen to move through all your blood cells and through all of your organs, through your bloodstream, your veins, your organs, your muscles, allowing that divine energy to feed and fill your entire physical body, everywhere that your blood and oxygen flows, filling that with divine creation, clearing energy and expanding energy.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
And moving into the heart and making space by releasing any sadness, disappointment, or grief that we're holding on to. Anything that weighs your heart down, any shame or blame that you may be holding in this space.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And really opening and expanding your communication with your inner child. The part of you that brings joy and happiness and excitement, curiosity, brings the magic into your life. And releasing your child from any trauma or responsibility or burden that it has been carrying for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just because there may be trauma from your childhood, it does not need to be attached to your child energy.
Yeah.
You can release that and allow space for your adult, your inner adult, to handle that, manage that, and work through that for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never meant for your child to carry for you.
Right. Yeah.
And moving now to open communication with your inner adult. And giving the adult a moment of being rather than doing.
Yeah.
Often we get caught in all the things that need to be done and all the stress. Our adult doesn't always have room to breathe,
Yeah.
change, and clear our own lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being able to release our own beliefs, our own trauma.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And connecting to your inner warrior and opening communication. Taking a moment of gratitude for how much your warrior has protected you and kept you safe. And at times been hyper vigilant for you. But right in this moment, you are perfectly safe and surrounded and protected. And even the warrior can have an opportunity for peace within you.
Yeah. Yeah. Good night. Good night. Eight.
And connecting with your inner sage elder, that part of you that you have carried with you each and every lifetime, who holds the knowledge of all of the lifetimes, and opening communication so that you can hold on to a fuller sense of inner knowing, trusting your elder to help you remember the information and the healing as you need it.
Good night. Good. Yeah. Good night. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And moving down into our third chakra just below your rib cage and really clearing away any energy of fear. And fear is held in many different ways. Sometimes it's held as anxiety or overwhelm or stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it is held as doubt. Sometimes it is held through assumptions and judgments made by ourselves, made by others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it is held as frustration or anger. Even righteous anger may be held within our body, but the emotions are meant to be felt and expressed in the moment, not held in reserve within our energy body. So deep breathing our way through as we simply release the energetic charge behind any emotions that we've held onto. We can hold on to the memory and the idea and the thought, but releasing the energetic charge so that it is no longer impeding our soul's growth and our personal healing in all directions and dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And moving down into our second chakra below our belly button and really releasing any relationship energy that has been stopping our energy flow. Any relationships that are out of sync, out of balance, where there's more giving or more receiving on one side than the other. Anything that leaves us feeling drained rather than as full as we started. And any energy where we feel completely filled up from being in relationship with the other. So we may be filtering some energy from them unconsciously
Yeah.
and bringing those all back into sync. Even our relationships with things like food and money and substances, for those are still relationships because energy is being exchanged
Yeah.
and most likely out of balance for many people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making room for all of your emotions to be expressed fully, not just the ones that you're comfortable with or that other people are comfortable with. Because again, emotions are your radar. They allow you to feel when your boundaries have been crossed. So there are no right or wrong emotions.
Yeah.
But when we release the held on to energy behind the emotion, we can simply feel the emotion in the moment and not bring forth every other time we have felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
and moving down into our root chakra beneath our tailbone, and releasing any areas where we still have difficulty with feeling safe or secure, difficulty with finances, our home, our job, or even the tribal family relationships.
Yeah.
And opening the pathway for us to create our own foundation, our own energy to stand on, both in the physical and the spiritual realms,
Yeah.
in our right and our left legs. And connecting that energy to our hips and making sure that it flows evenly down each leg so that we have equal energy for our masculine and feminine, our physical and spiritual aspects of ourselves,
Yeah.
and in our giving and our receiving sides.
Yeah.
And allow that energy to move down your legs into your knees.
Yeah.
Releasing any stuck energy there.
Yeah.
And down our shins and calves into our ankle bones. In many ways, we've held energy in our ankles or our heels. And down our feet and through our toes and into the earth. And feeling our connection below our feet. Notice what it feels like a foot beneath your feet, and 3 feet beneath your feet, and 10 feet beneath, and 30, and even a mile. What does the energy flow feel like a mile beneath you as all that you're willing to release goes down to that point? And even 100 miles beneath your feet. As it still travels to the center. And as it travels the thousands of miles to get to the center, feel and experience the heartbeat of Grandmother Earth as we get closer and closer. Can you feel the heat? Can you sense the light as it gets close? And take a moment to deeply connect your energy to Grandmother Earth. Either connect to her heart directly, or anchor and ground your energy next to her, or wrap around her like a giant hug. And as she once more receives your connection, gently allow her to fill in your energy, giving back to you new energy of creation in return for all that you are willing to release. We have a balanced energy exchange with Grandmother Earth, where as we give her what no longer serves us, she fills us with more energy to serve what we do wish to create. And feel that as it gets close to our feet and actually begins to come in the bottoms of our feet, making them nice and full and warm. And it creeps up your ankles and your calves. And fill with that beautiful unconditional love that happens from Grandmother Earth. And as it fills our knees, makes room for us to be more flexible, more adaptable in our lives, and moves up into our hips, opening our pelvic floor for more abundance to flow in all ways and in all dimensions.
Yeah.
And filling in our lower belly, giving all of our relationships more balance and our emotions more support. And in our upper belly, filling our self-esteem and our self-worth so that there isn't as much room for fear in all its expressions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And moving up and filling our lungs and our heart and our inner child, our warrior, our adult, our sage, filling them all with unconditional love and making room for the heart to stretch and expand to hold even more love, even more compassion for yourself first, and then to share with others. And as it pours out of your heart, it rolls down your shoulders and your arms to fill your hands. Activating the divine touch. In all the ways that you may use that in your creation, in your healing. And allowing it to move up into your throat, making room for your heart to speak your authentic truth and your authentic self. And to move up into your head and shifting your self-perception, filling your self-perception with love, unconditional love, and quieting the inner critic. And allowing that energy from Grandmother Earth to cascade over us like a beautiful fountain, clearing and restoring and repairing our aura in each direction, in each dimension, repairing our immune system for our physical health, our emotional health, our mental health,
Yeah.
and our spiritual health. And also repairing any energy in our past lives, in our karmic debt that we are ready to heal in each and every lifetime, in each and every direction and dimension.
Yeah.
And taking a moment to send healing back to Grandmother Earth for the way that she lovingly holds and supports us and nurtures us by giving us a sacred place to live, to eat, to grow, and to breathe into the fullness of our being.
God.
And expanding our gratitude to our spiritual team for being there to assist us and guide us, even when we're not aware.
Yeah.
And now we're going to bring our attention back to our breath and our heartbeat. So take a deep breath in and blow out very loudly. Hear the sound, feel the release. Begin to stretch and yawn. Wiggle your toes, your fingers. Feel your muscles and your bones as you connect to this earth plane. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Whew. All right. So, time for the messages. If you would like a card pulled for you or drawn for you, all you have to do is type in yes, please, and I will be calling them out in the order that they were received. It's the easiest way for us to make sure that we don't miss anyone, and it's never too late. While the broadcast is live, I will read until everybody who's here has gotten a card. After the broadcast, I do my absolute best to give people cards after the fact, but lately I've been a little busy. So I apologize for people who watched after and not received a card. But you can always message me ahead of time if you know you're going to watch in the archives. All right, so we're going to start with Julie Hedges. Miss Julie, your card is Illumination. So the Illumination card comes when we are being given guidance and our spiritual team and the divine are expanding our perception. It often comes in as a moment of inspiration. Aha, I know the answer. It is lit before us. So this is to let you know that pay attention to all the ways that you get those moments of divine inspiration. We don't always show gratitude to our spiritual team for all the ways they communicate to us. And you're going through a period where the divine is sending you more messages and more illumination. And this is meant to shift your self-perception in particular and your relationship with the divine and your relationship with your spiritual team. When we are able to release the toxic energy from our relationships on the physical realm, we make room for expansion of our relationships on the spiritual and divine realm. So the illumination is right around the corner, my dear, and simply open and allow yourself to receive it. All right, Rochelle. You have the Gaia card, my dear. Gaia is Grandmother Earth, the Earth Mother Goddess. She's the divine feminine. And Gaia comes to you to remind you that you are a sacred being attached to the earth. There are times that we get so busy in our doing that we forget our connection to the earth and what we need to do to ground and connect to it. So if you find that you've been having moments where you're spinning in your head and lots of ideas are coming around, or or you're having difficulty sleeping, I'm seeing like this swirling tornado of thought. And so it's reminding you that the way to implement any of that is to connect deeply to Gaia, deeply to Grandmother Earth. And when we forget to do that, we get all in our head. We get all in that ego part of ourselves, and we think we can make it happen. As soon as you are trying to make something happen or to push your way through, stop and reconnect to Gaia, because that is where your true energy gets rooted, and that's when you can take real action. And that may be in connecting to the outdoors. It may be, getting your hands dirty, but really feel that connection. Even just rubbing your feet on a wood floor can help bring you back into your body and connect you to that energy. All right, Christine. Ooh, girlfriend, you dropped cards. I haven't had that happen in a really long time. You're getting a reading. Ready? 3 cards. Past lives. The Matrix. And the Beloved. Ah, so my dear, when you connect to your sacred self, the Beloved, you are a star within your own universe. And as a part of the universe, you're connected to the matrix. You're connected to the whole. So there is not just one star. We are all stars as part of the divine universe. And in some of your past lives, this has been difficult for you because you were allowed to have your divine connection as yourself, but you weren't allowed to even remotely consider that you were a co-creator with the divine, let alone a star as part of the universe. We were allowed to see God or creator as above us, often as passing down judgment upon us. And that is no longer the case. Yet some of that energy is still rumbling within the deeper barriers beneath your energy system. So it's time for you to work on those and release that energy so that you can be fully in relationship with the divine, so that you are a co-creator. You are part of the matrix. You are not separate from it. Okay? And when that past life energy runs through us, it impedes our ability to create on the magnitude, on the level, on the expansiveness that we are meant to in this lifetime. So you want to get on releasing that past life, because it'll really, literally, I see like this rocket take off because of it. It gives you this ability for everything to explode, because you're not waiting for approval, because you're not waiting for anybody to judge you and what's going on, if that makes sense to you. Must be a big reading for you to get 3 cards. All right. Margaret, don't worry about this card. Your card is the Crucifixion. You are not going to be put on a cross and sacrificed. The crucifixion energy comes up when we overgive in a situation, when we basically sort of martyr ourselves for a cause or for someone else. You know, we give until there's nothing left to give, right? And we do this as women brilliantly, you know, You just keep saying yes and yes and yes when you mean no and no and no. So this is telling you that in this lifetime, there's no need for you to get up on the cross to show your worthiness. So cut it out. Stop sacrificing yourself for everybody else. There's no need. We don't need a savior this lifetime because we are our own savior. So there's no need for martyring. There's no need for putting everybody in front of you. Take care of you because nobody else will. All right. And that's straight up from your spiritual team. There's no judgment is going to happen this lifetime. All right. All right, Michelle. Beautiful. Your card is transformation. Look at that sun. And depending on your view of the world, you'll either see this as a sunrise or a sunset, right? But this as transformation is both a sunrise and a sunset. The sun is setting on a you that no longer fits you, no longer serves you. And the sun is rising on a new version of you. So it is both. It is both the beginning and the end. So make sure that as you are going through this transformation, have moments of gratitude for all the lessons that your past has taught you. But you don't have to go into your past to do that. Like when we were kids, you were taught to write thank you cards for gifts you got, whether you like them or not. Yeah, that's what this is about. If you need to do it literally, write a thank you note to someone for a gift they gave you, whether you liked it or not, right? Because lots of times the transformative gifts are not ones we enjoyed receiving in the first place. But later we look back and realize they shifted our entire life, and we have gratitude in that moment. So the more you can say thank you to release the old, the faster the new is going to come in. Woo! All right, Cindy Lynn. Your card is the messenger, my dear. It's funny, that's what my team calls me all the time. You are the messenger. Because I freak out about anything else they try to call me. I'm willing to hold messenger. So the messenger is that, you are having divine inspiration and divine messages come to you quite frequently right now. And you've been missing some of them. It happens to all of us. The signs can be really subtle, and so we don't get it. So that is when the divine sends in someone, a physical being, to become our messenger. They all of a sudden say exactly what we need to hear. They are ready to teach us what we've been asking for. And the messenger is someone who really is open-hearted, but they also don't hold any punches, right? They're going to speak the authentic truth, whether you want to hear it or not. So I'm hearing don't shoot the messenger, right? Because sometimes we're getting messages we don't want to hear. And so we go la, 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 la. And when we do that, the divine has to send in a big gun to become the messenger to teach us the lesson kind of face to face. So be aware that that person is entering your life. They may already be here and just step into the messenger role, but really try to be aware and awake to see the gift of what they're teaching you and how they're teaching you. Okay? All right. And war and peace. War and peace happens within us, doesn't it, my dear? This is a time when you're doing a little battle with your inner critic. And so that old programming, that old recording is a little bit loud. And it's impeding you from being in a peaceful space. And it's old messages, ones that aren't at all pertinent to who you are and how you are right now. That causes an inner struggle. It causes you to feel out of sync. And it's because you're having a tug of war within you. Now, when we have a tug of war within us, if we don't resolve it within us, we start to attract it outside of us. So someone will take on the persona of your inner critic for you to struggle with if you don't take care of it inside of you. So I highly recommend doing the personal growth piece, because dealing with someone in your face who's just like your inner critic can be a rough road for learning. So I encourage you to work on the inner struggle to become not a magnet for it in your outer being, because you don't want to have that outer struggle going on. Okay, dear? All right, Melissa. Woo! Some of these cards that, woo! Sacred sexuality. I love this one. And part of the reason I love the sacred sexuality is because it's a remembrance that combining in a sacred, intimate relationship is as close as we can get to the divine co-creation in physical form. And so when we treat our intimate relations as sacred, having rituals, even, lighting a candle, or putting music on, or, putting on that special lotion, things that are setting the scene for you to feel like a full sensual being, and for you to connect to someone else in that same way. That's where our creation energy really gets its flow from. That's when we are able to be that way in our relationships. Then it expands into everything else that we want to create. So if we want to create a new business, for example, we need to open as much energy as we can, because our sensuality and our sexuality is completely connected to our spirituality. They are not separate beings. They flow from the same chakra. If you try to block one, you block all. So if you don't want to block abundance, create a way for you to have beautiful and a sacred sense of your own sexuality. Own your goddess, sweetheart, because that's who you really are. All right, Jacqueline. Your card is Mythic Reality. This card reminds me a little bit of the Wizard of Oz. There's like that path to the mountain with the rainbow above it. And the pathway is how we create as a divine being. We create our own reality. And when we own that this reality is our personal creation, we can then shift it to what we want our reality to be. When you are in a creative space, when you can expand your imagination to hold on to exactly what you want your reality to be, that is what you will call in. The more fully we believe that, the more fully we allow that, And the more we release our resistance and our doubt, the more that reality becomes this beautiful creation that we enjoy as we walk the path of our soul lesson. So no matter what we do, we have to walk the path. There is no avoiding the path. We all have a path to walk, but by using our ability to create our own reality, we can create the environment that we go through, that we live in, that we have as our existence to learn our soul lessons. All right? Okay. Amy. I think Amy Daniels is next. Yes. Liberation is your card. Woohoo! What are you freeing yourself from, my dear? This is all about your perception expanding, your knowing expanding, and all of a sudden you are free from all of the ways that certain things have been holding you back. And I'm getting this like little warning note. So in our liberation, we can't blame other people for what we've experienced. When we blame others, we're not free. When you release them from blame, you no longer have to carry the blame within you, and then you're both free. They can live with their own personal blame or their own personal shame if they need to, but if you stop blaming, then you are free. And they are given the opportunity to be free as well. And that's really what opens up the pathway for our expansion, is when we're free of blame, shame, guilt, and doubt. Those four are just brutal on our energy system. So think about ways you can free those. But the big one I keep hearing for you is blame that needs to be released. I don't know if it's for you, something you're blaming yourself for, or something you're blaming somebody else for. But either way, it's restricting your energy flow, sweetie. So let yourself be free, okay? All right, Julie. Aw, the family tree looks like a Christmas tree. Or maybe it's just because I'm in the mood for it. So this is the family card. So the family card is that we're all connected. We're all part of the same tree. We're all part of the same tribe, but we all established our roots in one location and we grew together in our own way. Now, this is usually your tribal family, but it can also be people that you grew up with who were like surrogate family. You know, you have like aunties who aren't really an aunt, but they were your mom's best friend. My godmother is like in my family tree because she was like a second mom to me in some ways. Even though she was only with me a short period of time in my growth, she was a very strong root to my tree. And she anchors me still as an adult, as part of my family. So this is a time, it's the perfect time of year for us to reconnect with our roots. But remember that as we do that, to celebrate the tree and not any of the fungus. So any of the toxic things or arguments or whatever that may sort of run through the family tree, that's not what this is about. This is about going back to the roots and being thankful for all the things that there are to be thankful for. Focus on the positive, not on the negative, and that'll give your personal tree more room to grow. Plus, it allows the expansion of your family to have a stronger root system. When our root system is based on toxicity, the tree can topple over very easily. And so I'm reminding you to focus on the positive roots and letting those anchor, because you have the capacity to anchor the entire family tree. All right. Violet, I believe, is next. Ah, nice. Divine order. So divine order is reminding us that we are a creator with the divine, but things happen in particular timing. There is a step-by-step way to get things done. And we're in an era of instant gratification. We want it now. And we don't necessarily want to go through all the steps it takes to get there. But right now, you're in a divine process, an expansion that has to take place in a particular order. There are so many people right now who are trying to ascend without actually going through the spiritual evolution of our energy system that you have to. The energy has to expand in one particular way. You don't get to bypass all of the work it takes to get there. And it is really crucial that you take each of these steps. You can't skip a grade when it comes to your spiritual evolution. So this is happening for you all in divine timing, and it's all happening in a particular order. And we lots of times feel like we're in a hurry and we want to rush and we want to skip things, but this is not something that we can skip and go through in earth timing. It has to happen in divine timing. And when we allow that and we don't try to make it happen, it happens beautifully, synchronistically, and seamlessly. There's no effort. It happens with ease and grace. It's only when we struggle that it's hard. All right, my dear? Oh my goodness, Christina Kelly coming out of the woodwork. Of course, you can have a card, my dear. Confusion. This is why I'm seeing you today. All right. The confusion card usually means that there's a lot of energy spinning around in your head. More than usual. And the confusion card comes in when other people's voices are talking in there. So I'm hearing other people putting in doubt and worry and thoughts that are weighing you down. And all of that energy needs to be shifted to the side. And you need to check into what you feel, what you know, and lovingly release those other people and their views. And that's part of your evolution. You're of an age where you're really differentiating from your parents and what they say and ask for you. And they still have their opinions and they're going to tell you how they want you to live their life. Isn't that funny? How they want you to live their life. Right? Isn't that true? They have an idea of your life and they want you to live it in their idea. And they may not be hearing you. So it causes a lot of confusion because you might have 2 or 3 people all telling you the same thing, but it's not true for your being. It's not true for what you feel and experience. That's where the confusion is coming in. There's too many people talking in your head. So I invite you to try to ground and meditate and clear. And if you're out of the grounding blend, then give me a call and we'll get you some of that, because I know that helps you with being able to hear your own energy and your own voice. Hope you have a happy holiday, sweetie. All right, Becky, thank you for joining us. All right, your card is Purgatory. People freak out when they see this. Don't freak out. So purgatory happens energetically when we don't understand that we are creating our circumstances. We want to blame everybody else. You know, this is happening because I don't have the money, or I don't have the job, or so-and-so said this. And basically that's our form of hell. And when we can own the fact that there's some lesson we need to learn here, and that maybe we haven't figured it out yet, but there's a lesson here, then we start acknowledging that we have control of our own lives. Because you've handed control over to some other people. Or to, you know, it may not be people in particular, but money can be a big one. We hand our whole life over to money. Money has no desire to control our life. It's just part of a tree. And yet we will do everything around whether we have enough money or not. And so when we have purgatory, it's because we're not aligned in ourself. We're allowing something else to control us. So energetically, it's like if you were straight up and down here, when we're in purgatory, we're kind of, our straight up and down is like over here. So it's reminding you how to come back into the center of your being, release the worry, release the doubt, and start to trust again. When you start to trust in the divine and the divine timing, then all of this angst can get released. And purgatory is always of our own creation, sweetheart. When we allow others to influence our life and influence our decision, that's when we enter it. All right, Carol. This is indicative of today on the Gateway Day. Your card is the Ascension. So the Ascension card is reminding you and reminding all of us that the ascension process is happening. The spiritual evolution process is happening at its own divine pace. We can't rush it. We can't do anything to speed it along. To move our energy into a place where the ascension can happen with ease and grace, rather than pointing out all the ways we're resisting expanding and becoming a spiritual being, is to really look at your ideas and your beliefs and your trauma and see what you're still holding a grudge about. What are you holding on to? And what are some beliefs that other people told you were true that maybe you don't totally believe anymore? Because all of those things hold us back from moving forward and moving and expanding through the ascension. And really, you have this beautiful window, this gateway of energy to move things more rapidly. We all do. So anything that you've been told to move, you could move really rapidly right now, between now and the 22nd of December, and slightly beyond that. But this is like the highway time. So get on the fast track and see how you can do around that. All right, and Mitchell's card. Interesting combo, you guys. Mitchell's card is the God card. That's something. Have those two back to back is quite something. So the God card is to remind you two things. God is always with you. God is always within you. So there's no separation The separation happens in the belief pattern. And one of the biggest belief patterns I feel that we need to release as a collective, because when we believe we're separate from God, then we can't be one with God. We can't have a personal relationship. If we think God is higher than or out of reach. So Mitchell, the God card is coming specifically for you because you have a beautiful connection. And maybe, sweetheart, you're meant to teach others how to do that too, how to connect to that, because they've forgotten. So don't let anybody tell you that you don't have a personal connection to God, because you do. And show and teach others by the way that you are. All right. Thank you for being a messenger. All right, Roberta. Roberta, I think you go by Bobby. Is that right? I always call you Roberta. It happens a lot with my spiritual team. They call you your most formal name, your birth name. So, Bobby, your card is the Lover's card. Now, the Lover's card has two meanings. It can definitely mean that. And the first meaning has to do with really allowing yourself to be in a beautiful and loving relationship. Remember that true loving relationships happen with unconditional love. Not I'll love you if you do this for me, but no matter what. And that's why the vows for many of us were, in sickness or in health, because, not everything's going to be hunky dory. And so it's when we are able to move through our life lessons with our lover that we are able to really move forward to the next level. There's also a piece of this that I'm getting that has to do with you loving yourself. And maybe it's because you can't share fully with another without loving yourself. But I'm really encouraging you. I'm getting a lot of energy around encouraging you to find ways to expand your self-care, expand your self-love, even if you feel like you're good at that. If you're still having difficulty with relationships around you, then there's some aspect of self-love that you need to work on, because you won't have difficult relationships if you fully love and respect yourself. Okay? So I keep hearing that to use for the tapping, I fully love and accept myself. And that might be a way for you to expand the self-love, which then you can share with your lover. All right. Judy. Ah, sweetheart. Your card is gratitude. The gratitude card often comes up when things are difficult, when life feels hard, when everything feels like it's falling apart. And it is, because it has to fall apart for it to create a better tomorrow. And the way to ease the transition through any difficult time is to expand your heart in gratitude. And so I often give my clients or my students the assignment of doing a gratitude list and listing the things you're grateful for. And one of the easiest ways to do it in this day and age is on Facebook Land. 30 days of gratitude. For 30 days, you post something in your life that you're grateful for. And you'll notice that as you start to do it, There are days when you have many, many, many things that you're grateful for. But every single day, no matter how hard it is, you can find one thing to be grateful for. And as we shift our energy into gratitude, then things around us start to ease and all of the chaos starts to calm down. Because as we're grateful for things, the universe gives us more things to be grateful for. Get it? So when you're having a difficult time, go into gratitude as deep as you can. There's also a beautiful book by Sonia Choquette called Gifts, Guidance. What's the other G? I always want to say gratitude, but I'm not sure it's gratitude. But it has ways for you to connect to that. It's a really, I just like flip it when I need it, and it has exactly what I need to say. It's kind of like having cards, but in a book form. All right, Minnie. Ah, Sophia. Sophia holds the energy of the divine rose. No surprise you got that, my dear. So this is all about honoring your nature being, honoring the fact that you are a rose for many people. And a rose has beauty, and when needed for protection, a rose has thorns. And be okay with having both. They're both part of the package. They're both part of the what's necessary. Some people need it soft and beautiful, and sometimes people need a poke. And you hold both. And so Sophia is always reminds me of I have a friend who has a daughter, Sophia, who's very cute and she likes to wear dresses and she's very, barefoot and loves to be outside, right? But she has that sharp wit that says exactly what needs to be said in a moment, and you're not always prepared to hear it. And that's who you are. And the divine is just honoring that's who you are and that's who you need to be. So don't shut it down for anybody. And if anybody's giving you a hard time, you can send them to me or Neshi, all right? We'll bop them one, right? All right. The next card is Liz. Hi, dearest. You ready for school weekend? Another school weekend? The Judgment card. Notice that there are 3 suns. Okay, for the 3 selves. The Judgment card comes in when our inner critic is being harsh with us. It's giving ourselves a hard time, telling us things that aren't true. Like, you should have done this, you could have done this better, da 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 da. That judgment isn't divine, because the divine is never harsh. It may be precise and you may be uncomfortable hearing it, but it's never harsh. It is always in love. When you are hearing judgment energy, that is your inner critic. And that noise needs to calm down, because when you are hearing judgment inside yourself, toward yourself, you then project that toward other people. And nobody likes to be judged. Nobody's comfortable with that. When you can lovingly guide someone and help them make a change, that's one thing. But your shoulders go up and you block your energy when you feel judgment coming at you. So remember that the only true judgment that's happening is the one that's inside of you. And then the other judgment will just simply dissipate. Okay? Jeez, it's going to be a fun third weekend. All right, Christine. Aw, you have the love card, my dear. I love the flower in the water with all the petals. It's very symbolic of the lotus, but it's more of a daisy, if you ask me. But I don't know if you can see that the lily pads are really all heart-shaped. All right. So the love energy, when it flows through us, it flows not only in our heart, but in our second chakra. It allows all, and in our perception. So our three feeling centers. The love flows through in our second chakra, through our relationships and through our emotions. It flows through our heart in a fuller and expanded way, and it flows through our perception. And this is inviting you to expand the ways that you perceive and exchange love. And that happens first within, right? How are you doing on self-love? Is your inner critic as noisy as some of the other people's tonight? And if it is, send it love and say, I love that you're trying to teach me all of these wonderful things, but right now I want to sit in love and send love. And send love through all your relationships. Send love through your self-perception. Send love to your self-esteem, because that will then radiate outward for other people to experience. And then that's all that they'll receive from you is love. And then when they receive love from you, then that's all you receive back. Okay, so it's this beautiful sort of love vibration. Raise your energy to a love vibration, and all sorts of things will shift for you. All right, Robin. Woo! Your card is decision. And I find it interesting that that drop that's hitting the water, I got this intuitive hit of an essential oil drop. So I don't know if something's going on with your your doTERRA business. But a decision comes in that it's telling you that it's all in the goddess energy, first of all, and to use your emotions to make this decision. Use your feelings to make this decision. We sometimes make our decisions out of our logic brain. Our logic brain only has a very small amount of information to work through. But if in our feeling being we feel one thing and the decision, our logic brain thinks another, I always would go with the feeling body, because the feeling body has access to way more, thousands of times more, millions of times more information than our thinking brain can, because the thinking brain can only process knowledge that we already have, not knowledge that we've yet to acquire. Our feeling body can feel the knowledge whether we've experienced it before or not. So as you're going through this big decision, use your feeling to guide you rather than your head. Use your heart, not your head. Okay? Because that always wins. Mary Elizabeth, I think, is first. I mean, you wrote Mary. Yep. Yeah. Are they back to back, maybe? Okay. So your card is the real you. Woohoo! Time for you to unearth the real you. You've been busy doing and have had difficulty being. And your inner child's a little cranky, which makes you a little cranky. And your authentic self is really begging to be heard and expressed. And the mistaken conception is that we have to do a job that is our authentic self. We can do a job really well that's aligned with our life purpose, but it can be a job. It can be to take care of our survival body. As long as we're fulfilling our authentic self outside of the work environment. But if it's all one or all nothing, then we come spiritually out of balance and out of sync. And we usually become sick in some way, emotionally, physically, and that really doesn't resonate well for us. So the divine is encouraging you to step into the real you and release all the judgment that other people have placed on you and all the harsh judgment you hold for yourself, because none of that's true. Not one piece of that's true. And it's time for you to take a deep breath and become you and not worry what anybody else says or thinks or cares about. Because it's the only way you'll find true happiness within you is to be you, because nobody else can be. So it might as well be you. Okay? All right. All right. So Mary Ellen is next. Sorry about the confusion between the two Marys, but of course we have two Marys back to back when we're doing the Mary Magdalene deck. I mean, what else would we have? So, Mary Ellen, yours is color. And notice that the color is in the sky and in the earth and in the water. And it almost looks like fire. Can you feel all the elements that are here? So this is reminding you to bring back vibrant color in your life in all the ways that you can. So all of your senses are needing an upgrade. Everything gets dull and boring. You know, how many of us wear, black and brown and blue all the time and don't wear bright colors, right? And how many of us, don't bring, listen to beautiful music every day of different artists and different genres, and how many people experience artwork. We go and experience art in different ways. So your life is feeling very black and white, very precise. And there's so much more flavor out there, so much more color. I'm also feeling like you're eating kind of in a regular, boring way. Like Mondays is meatloaf and Tuesdays is tacos. Like I don't know what the real things are, but I'm feeling like even food isn't having chance to bring beauty and color in. So as part of your clearing right now in this gateway, it's like infuse your life with color, because you weren't meant to be black and white. You weren't meant to be two-dimensional. And the way for us to expand into the multi-dimensions is to experience all the colors and flavors and sounds and smells that are out there, not just the ones that we're used to. All right? All right. Ellen, your card is Little Children. The Little Children card comes as a reminder. There are children on this planet to remind us how to find our joy, how to find wonder, how to live our life the way we're meant to. When we surround ourselves with a bunch of adults who are making things happen and doing and aren't enjoying things anymore, it's time to surround ourselves with children to remind us how to live our lives more fully. When we're around all this heavy adult energy, it's really depressing. It's really heavy. So if you don't know how to do this, go this weekend to any animated movie that's out there at like noon. Right in the middle, like in the afternoon, because it's going to be chock full of small children who are going to be laughing and giggling and talking and pointing things out. And there's nothing like being filled up with children's energy. If it were summertime, I would tell you to go to the park or go somewhere like that. But right now, it's winter, and most of the children, unless you want to go roller skating, the roller rink can be a good place for that too. But I find an animated movie is always a place where I can fill myself up with the child energy. And that reminds us how to bring joy back into our lives. And it actually helps us. I usually go home wanting to create things. And so maybe that's helping with your creation energy too. All right. There's Rob. So Rob's card is The Secret. This one can be a tough one. So The Secret is that energy of we held on to something and we haven't shared it with anybody and we're guarding it. It's a secret. And secret energy is so toxic to our energy system. And it's not that if you have a secret somebody else has asked you to keep, that it's, that you honor that, obviously. But this feels much more like you've held on to a family secret for a really long time and it's eating you up. Like all across the top of your belly. Like your liver is completely eaten up. Your spleen is really not happy. Your gallbladder is really sluggish. And even your pancreas is having trouble finding the sweetness in life because of this secret. It's literally across the top of your belly eating away. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to go up on the rooftop and shout the secret out, but maybe you find one trusted friend to share it with, or go to a therapist and get it out. Because someone who's going to be non-judgmental, someone who's going to be able to sit and hold sacred space for you, because secrets really destroy our energy. And most of the time, once you've said it, there's no freaking reason you were keeping it to begin with. It's some weird contract that you created that is hurting everyone involved, but you, even on a physical level, sweetie, not just an emotional level. So it's time for the secret to be released, however that works for you. That's one of the big things that I do at the school as part of we have a couple weekends where people are encouraged to talk about things that they've kept secret, and they share it with one person in the class, not the whole class, just one person. And the other person shares one of their deep secrets as well, so that you have this sacred bond of, okay, I know and you know, no longer does it have to be inside my body. All right, the next one is Marla, I believe. And you got Magdalene herself. Mary Magdalene. So Mary Magdalene comes in as a sacred healer card. She is the apostle of all the apostles. She is the feminine leader of spirituality, not the divine mother, but she is a prophet, for lack of a better word. She is a leader. She is a feminine leader of how to be in your spirituality. So the Mary Magdalene card is for you to connect to the sacred divine, the feminine divine within you. And the feminine divine is telling you to listen to your heart. And in response to, you want to know if Molly is okay. That's for you to look in your heart about. Molly is Molly, and Molly is on her spiritual path and taking care of her spiritual body. And the best way for you to expand and connect is to take care of your own. So when you reach in for spiritual guidance from the divine feminine that you connect to, and you really open your heart to that, and you really heal your heart with that, then any energy in connection with Molly will heal as well. But you need to take care of your energy first and let Molly take care of Molly, because that's how you will both heal and you will both grow. And codependent energy never works. It sucks the life out of someone, and someone else may feel filled up, but that's not a life for either person. So connect to your divine spirituality, especially the divine feminine, and begin to heal your heart. And then the heart energy will be felt everywhere around you, including by Molly. All right, Joanne. Your card, my dear, is the eternal embrace. The eternal embrace is reminding us that we're always held by the divine. We're always held by our angels and our spiritual team. Whenever we feel lonely, we just call in the divine team to surround us and fill us and protect us. And the angels in particular are really good at the eternal embrace, because there are times when you ask for that and they'll stand behind you and wrap their wings around you, and you can feel it. It's a hug, and it's a blanket, and it's safe and it's secure. And so you're given this reminder that though you may feel like you're standing alone, you're always being held by the divine, and you have a very strong connection to your angelic team. So when you feel lonely, just call them in to fill you with the sensation and the experience of them having your back, because they do, sweetie. All right. All right. Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Your card is intimacy, my dear. The intimacy card comes up when we are in a space to learn how to connect on a deeper level. Most of us have relationships, even marriages, that we are connected, we're good friends, and we enjoy each other's company, and we have a sexual relationship. But intimacy has a sacred piece to it. It's the honoring the divine in the other and them honoring the divine in you. It's a merging of your energy on a soul level. And it doesn't have to be sexual. It can be completely spiritual. You may have heard the saying, the divine in me honors the divine in you. And that's what this is about. When you're truly intimate with someone else, you see them as a divine being. They see you as a divine being. So it magnifies the energy of the relationship so that it's not just held in one chakra or two chakras. You learn how to connect your energy through all of the chakras so that you feel the connection in all of your being, not just pieces and parts of your being. All right. So learn how to open your heart to be seen as a divine being, and then share how you see the divine in others, in your relationships. All right, Stephanie. Of course. Should I do the card? I'm going to do a card for you, Stephanie, first, and then I'm going to do Ben's card, okay? I love giving Ben his God thought. So, Stephanie, your card is co-creation. This is perfect for you right now. You are really stepping into your role as a co-creator. You're stepping into your role of working as a team with others and being part of a creative vision. We all know that. Well, maybe we don't, but everybody should know that, how you're helping with that at Star Nations. And I'm very grateful for that, because the more energy we have in the creation of Star Nations energy and how to reach and expand and heal other people, the more people we need to love and support it. And you are doing some beautiful energy to help expand that. And it lines up beautifully with your life purpose. I don't know if you know that or feel that, but I feel it on such a heart basis that it's really stretching you into a new sense of your own self to be able to do this and be part of this expansion. And, you know, you also are quite a co-creator with Ben. So honor and love that, how you do that as well. So for my little sweetie, all right, Ben, you often give me the hard cards for you. Your card, Ben, is the resurrection. It's kind of a big word. So this means that when something seems dead, when something seems like it's over, there comes energy from God that then lifts it up and changes it into something new. So when you play with Legos or blocks, you build one thing and it's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful building. And then all of a sudden it gets knocked over and it's no longer a building. Those blocks get to turn into something new and beautiful, and maybe you create a spaceship the next time. And that's what the resurrection energy is about, sweetie. It's that when something is gone and it's done, it then turns into something brand new and beautiful. And you are one who can see it as it's shifting. And so sometimes you need to help others see how it's resurrecting, how it's becoming something new and beautiful. Because sometimes us grown-ups forget. Okay? So thank you for helping us grown-ups see. All right, Carol. Your card, my dear, is Saint and Sinner. So saint and sinner is not as bad as it sounds. It's when we believe there is good and bad. And when we believe that God is judging whether we are good and bad. And if you believe in a God who is taking inventory, then you have to own that you are a saint and you are a sinner. If you don't believe in a judgmental God, then it is time for you to own that you're a saint and a sinner. We are all capable of everything. We choose in each day to make the best choices that we can that day. And the biggest judge is ourselves. And we often judge others. And when we do so, we judge ourselves. So when we stop judging other people for their decisions and for their actions, we separate the behavior from the person. We don't have to like the behavior of another person, but we don't have to attach it to who they are. And that's what's being called here. So it's reminding you that we all have good, bad, saint, sinner energy within us. It's just what we choose to do with it, and whether or not we choose to judge other people with it or not. And even if we believe in a judgmental God, then it's only God who's supposed to judge, not us. So make sure that you stop judging yourself, and then others will stop judging you, and then you don't have to judge others. It's this big like circle, and it all starts with us releasing our own self-judgment. All right, we've got quite a house tonight. So Andrew, your card is Mother Mary. Time to call the divine feminine into your life fully. Mother Mary forgives all. Mother Mary loves through all. Mother Mary knows who we are at our core being, and that's who she loves. She doesn't judge. She doesn't criticize. She's here to help you heal. And when you need that energy of healing to come through with her, just envision the pink light that she sends through as part of her healing. She often connects with Archangel Raphael, and they work together to send healing through us. And she's here to soften your harsh judgment of yourself, because there's no need for it. There's just love. And she also loves those of us who have a connection to children and want to soften our energy. So as we interact with children, we interact with love. All right? All right, Shannon. Your card is Serendipity. So the Serendipity card comes in. I don't know, I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to show this part of it. Can you see how the star comes in at the back of the head? It's not at the top, it's at the back. So the serendipity is when things happen in synchronicity and we start to see the coincidence. And it happens in divine timing. It happens exactly when it's meant to. It happens as it's supposed to. And when we allow the divine moment of inspiration to hit us, and we all of a sudden understand, oh, there's a pattern here. Oh, there's a connection here. Then we can see how the divine is at work in our life all the time. So this is reminding you to be open to all those coincidences and synchronicities that are happening at a really rapid pace around you right now, because they're pointing out a pattern that they're trying to help you shift and change and grow into. All right. All right. Judy. Good card for you. Revelation. All right. So the Revelation card is reminding you that you keep seeking outside assistance. You're looking to others to tell you what to do and who to be and how to behave. You want validation or you want confirmation. And when we are in our truth, we don't need it. We don't need someone else's opinion. It's okay to ask for someone's opinion just to make sure that we're understanding the message clearly. But even if they don't agree with us, that doesn't mean their answer is true. This is finding the truth within you and to not always rely on other people for your truth. So part of your spiritual growth right now, sweetie, is trusting in you and trusting in your spiritual team and your own connection to the divine. Okay? That you don't need confirmation from other people. You don't need acceptance from other people. This is all about you being true to you and listening to your own inner voice. That's the one that matters the most. All right. Jackie, your card is miracles. So the miracles card comes in when the divine timing is all synced up. And a number of things have been falling into place behind the scenes that we don't know about. And as those things fall into place, it leaves this expansive energy for something amazing to happen. And a miracle is in that moment when you say, "Can you believe it?" Because it seems unbelievable in the moment. There's no way in a physical body to make it happen. It happens because everything fell together in divine timing, and it appears to be a miracle. But there's energy that's been in motion for a long time for you, and so it's reminding you that miracles do happen when you believe that they're true. So allow the divine timing to happen, because it's like literally, it's all like, I can see it. It's like, the Tetris, when all those little pieces are coming together and they're all falling down. And can you imagine if you had this board where one tile came in and the whole thing cleared? Yeah, that's what's about to happen. So make space for that. All right, Stacy, your card, my dear, is acceptance. This card is not about accepting your circumstances, sweetie. So I don't want you to get the wrong impression on that. This is about accepting you for who you are, and that you are a creator. That when things are not going the way we want them to in our lives, we need to shift something inside of ourselves. And usually it means we need to stop blaming ourselves. We need to stop feeling guilty. We need to stop feeling doubt about who we are. And we need to start loving ourselves with compassion and really opening and expanding your ability to accept that you're beautiful and you are amazing and perfect right now, just as you are. No matter what anybody else says, you are right now in the divine image. God is not wrong. And God does not make mistakes. So you are exactly perfect the way you are right now. And everything that's going on around you that feels so chaotic is because you're feeling so chaotic inside, sweetie. So just start by loving yourself, finding things that make that gratitude list that I told the other person about, but gratitude for yourself. Make a list of things that you love about yourself. You know, I love my voice. I love my hair. I love my creative self. I love my magical connection to children. I love my ability to show up and help people when they need it. Whatever yours is, okay? Because you are perfect on the inside, and the chaos around you is not who you are. It's just the environment right now. All right, Susan, Boy, you guys are testing me. I'm going to have to go open another deck. It's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. So heart and soul is your card. The heart and soul card is that your heart and soul are trying to become one. That can only happen when you love and accept yourself. When you don't love and accept yourself, you become separate from your soul. You become separate from your being. You become separate from your divinity. So this is all about finding ways to love yourself. Notice how we had a few of these in a row. It's time to love yourself because nobody else can if you don't. So find things to say to yourself every day that is in loving kindness, and that will encourage other people to do the same. Okay? Use your whole heart and your whole soul. Patricia. Parente. Yes. Okay. Your card is Guardian Angel. So this card is to remind you that we're all here. We all have a guardian angel. We have the one who is always there for us. So that loneliness you're feeling, it's the same thing that I said before. I'm sure there's a lot of lonely in the last few cards because the heart feels so heavy. And remember that there's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. We can feel lonely in a crowd of people. And when that happens, we're disconnected from our spiritual team. We're disconnected from who we are as a divine being. And I remember this deeply and clearly when I was going through a lot of my energy with post-traumatic stress. It felt very broken and lonely. And what I didn't realize were how many people were in that same place as me in that moment. And your guardian angel is here to tell you you are never alone, ever. And you don't just have one guardian angel, you have a whole freaking team. Your spiritual team is here, like, I don't know, 20 or more. And you're never alone. It's just that we've forgotten how to see them or feel them or experience them. And when you are feeling this disconnect, it's inside of you, sweetie. And all that takes is opening your heart and start loving yourself in little itty bitty ways, and maybe you buy flowers for yourself because you deserve beauty. You don't need somebody else to give you flowers. Maybe buy yourself a card or make yourself a card. I have one. Let me scoot over. That I bought for me. Mine is "You are beauty, strength, and light." And I have it right on my altar. And it says, "To me, all the things you are lift me up and let me know that the moment I gave you my heart, I knew real love." And I bought it for me. I put it for myself on the altar. I didn't need somebody else to tell me and fill me. I could feel it in myself. So there are more people around that care about you than you know about. We don't realize. But until you can feel and experience that, try connecting to your guardian angel more. Invite them into your conversations and ask them to be with you. And then it'll help with the lonely. All right, Jill, your card, thank you, is perception. You sometimes get spinning in your head, my dear, and it affects your perception. Duh. Right? when we block our intuition, we block the ability for us to experience all the ways that our spiritual team is trying to show us and guide us. And that impacts our perception. We let old thoughts, beliefs, ideas, patterns cloud our judgment and make decisions for us that aren't in our best interest any longer. So as part of your healing work, it's time to start releasing those thoughts and beliefs and patterns that are clouding your perception. They're like fogging a mirror for you. And they're keeping you away from doing your spiritual work, because you were meant to be a healer on a much bigger level than you've been doing recently. And it's time for you to step up, but you can't do that until you shift your perception. All right. Zoe, your card is Universal Christ. Universal Christ is what they call Christ consciousness. And it is also where Buddha is, if you are, of that, or you connect more easily to that energy. Christ consciousness is how we experience the divine energy in an awakened state. When universal Christ consciousness is called in for us to connect to, it's inviting us to tap into our spirituality on a higher level. Usually it means that we've had a very limited, narrow idea of our ability to connect and how we connect. And this is inviting you to expand that. And so whether you expand it through a Christian belief system, a Jewish belief system, a Buddhist belief system, it doesn't matter. It's just inviting you to expand into a higher sense of the divine and a higher sense of self. And again, in this energy, the judgmental God doesn't hold a lot of energy, because this is you and Creator being in relationship together, and in a relationship that's unconditional love. So if you have unconditional love, there's no room for judgment. Does that make sense? So time to call that energy in. All right. I think we're on Shelly. Okay. I'm going to pull 2 more cards, and then believe it or not, I have to grab another deck. So Shelly, your card is the Prophet. So the Prophet card is, it's time for you to hear the messages. Pretty ironic tonight. I hope you've been listening, for everybody up till you. The Prophet energy is teachings and guidance for you to move forward on your spiritual path. It's you to listen to how that's coming through. And maybe the Prophet is connecting to a new mentor who aligns with your spiritual mission and the next leg of your spiritual journey. Maybe it's time for you to step in and be the prophet and the guide and the messenger for someone else. But it feels much more like you are in a space to step up your guidance to a new level. And many of us get triggered by the word prophet, because then we worry about, what does that mean? And if somebody calls themselves prophet, the good teachers just call themselves a teacher, a master teacher. So that's what you're looking for, or a messenger. And they're here to guide you and help you move through this next leg of your spiritual journey. Okay? Crystal. Last card of this deck. And don't worry, I'm not going to not call. You should see how many decks I have, everybody. So your card, my dear, is surrender. That's a big one for a lot of us. Surrender card comes up when we've been trying to make things happen in our lives. Surrender is let it go and let it flow. Let the divine step in and unfold this. Ask for what you need, ask for what you want, and then let it be. Just hold the vibration that it's coming or that it's here or and it's already done. But we have to take a leap of faith every so often, especially for the things that matter most to us. And we can't take a leap of faith if we don't actually leap. And that's what the surrender is, allowing yourself to just leap and know that you will be caught and that you will be guided. And afterwards, whenever we do this, we realize that the leap was only a baby step forward. It feels like the Grand Canyon, but literally it was just a baby step. Okay? All right, give me a second, guys. I gotta go grab another deck. I'm here, really. All right. Those of you on the end, you're getting the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck. Okay, this is also Tony's deck. Whoosh. Give me a quick second. Lynette, I know you'll want a cleared and fresh card. All right. Your card, Lynette, is the Goddess of Sacred Power. You are being encouraged to take a leading role in your current situation. So the Goddess of Sacred Power is connecting you to your personal power. When we listen to other people over our own self, we give our power away. So this is calling you to reach inside, and find the goddess within you and allow your goddess to create your truth and make your decisions from that place. And lead others who are having difficulty finding the way themselves, because some people aren't in a place to be able to find their own light, and you have it. So shine it and lead others to it. But remember to reach within to your truth and don't let your ego get in the way. All right? Cindy Nix, your card is the Goddess of Strength. Stand up for what you believe and you will gain respect by holding your ground. Nice. Again, center in who you are. Listen to your truth. Are you guys hearing this? How many times have I said this tonight? Like a lot. Stand in your truth. Stand in yourself. Stop listening to other people and what they say. When you stand in your truth and you hold firm in your beliefs, you become stronger and you become able to guide other people. Because people who are telling you what to do often don't know what to do inside themselves. They're just repeating what they've heard other people say. They're not feeling the truth within them. And if they're in their truth and you're in yours, you don't feel bad and you don't feel hurt. You just agree that you have a different opinion and you walk away. So this is really about holding your truth solid. And when that happens, other people start to respect you and your opinion. And they start to come to you for leadership, for guidance, and for strength. All right. Ginny. Angel of the universe. You are being encouraged to expand your thinking. So here's another one of a similar theme. When you are encouraged to expand your thinking, you're being asked to stretch your perception. You're being asked to open your intuition to a fuller expansion, allowing space for all of your intuition, your senses to all come in and work together as a team. And We are all connected to all the energy of the universe. And when you call in the angelic realm to work with you in the expansion of your thinking, it also expands your being. And your thinking doesn't become separate from your being, but just an extension of who you are. And so as you expand who you are, your thinking and your ability expands as well. All right, Becky, your card is the Angel of Communication. The Angel of Communication is telling you to communicate clearly and don't be afraid to tell it like it is. I love that. So when we are in our truth, we can say our truth without being reactive, without triggering, without saying it meanly. We don't have to hide our truth behind the worry about somebody's hurt feelings. We get to say what we like and we don't like, but we do it in a place that is true. And when we do that, others hear that. They may not like it, but they actually hear what you're communicating. When you don't speak from your heart, people sometimes can't even hear what you're saying. And you'll often go around going, did they even hear what I was saying? And they often don't, because you weren't speaking from your heart's truth. And so call on the angel of communication to open and expand that for you. Okay, Linda, your card is the Angel of New Life. An exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. Look at her coming out of that lotus flower. So this is about a new you, a new energy that is blossoming right now. And in that space, it is time for you to let go of the old energy, what was, and be in a place of gratitude that the divine has given you the opportunity to move forward in a new way. And there's also this piece that it wants to remind you that to keep your eyes on the now. Don't look too far to the future or too far to the past, because that will stretch your energy into new directions and it'll slow you down in your movement in your new life. So you've probably gone some stuff, but there you go. All right, Donnie, yours is the Goddess of Beauty. You are a wondrous being of light. There's nothing to change or fix. And we all hold God and Goddess energy, whether we're male or female. The Goddess energy is a more sensitive version of ourselves. And the Goddess of Beauty is reminding us that we're all beautiful, amazing beings. We are all light. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing broken, nothing to fix. So this is a reminder that you are a sacred divine being of light and that you're being honored in this way. And that's how that goes. All right. And I, of course, am going to finish with Neshi, who never asks for a card these days, even though we're late. Hers is the God of spiritual healing. And it's saying an aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. And I think you know what that is. And you're going to use the gateway energy to assist you. And if you need help, phone a friend, because you've got many healing friends who would love to help guide you along this way. And with that, we are done. Thank you for staying with us through this extended version, but it felt really important, especially in this holiday season, that people can have a connection when they need it and a message when they need it and healing when they need it. So please help send the love and share the love by sharing this broadcast for those who maybe needed the healing meditation or maybe need to hear the words of wisdom that were spoken, because how many of those messages applied to all of us, not just the few who it was drawn for. And with that, guys, enjoy your beautiful night, and I will see you next week on Chakra Sessions at Tuesday at 12, and here on Soul Connections Wednesday at 7 p.m. Bye, guys.